The year 1812 marked the zenith and subsequent fracture of the First French Empire. To strictly enforce the continental system against Great Britain, Emperor Napoleon I mobilized the largest army in European history. This vast coalition, numbering over 600,000 men, was a multinational force, incorporating contingents from across his vast domain. Napoleon's objective was swift and decisive: force a major engagement near the border, crush the Russian imperial forces, and compel Tsar Alexander I back into compliance with French economic policy. On June 24, 1812, the Grande Armée began crossing the Niemen River into Russian territory. However, the campaign did not unfold as the French emperor anticipated. The Russian forces did not offer major resistance near the frontier. Facing overwhelming numerical inferiority, Russian commanders executed a strategic retreat, drawing the French deeper into the massive Russian interior. Crucially, they employed a scorched-earth policy, systematically destroying infrastructure, resources, and crops that the advancing Grande Armée desperately relied upon for subsistence. By August, the French had advanced hundreds of miles, but had already lost nearly half their strength to disease, heat, and supply failure, without engaging in a decisive battle. Finally, near the village of Borodino, Russian General Mikhail Kutuzov, facing immense political pressure, prepared defensive positions to block the path to Moscow. On September 7, 1812, the armies clashed in the bloodiest single day of conflict in the pre-industrial world. Over 12 hours of incessant artillery and infantry assault resulted in combined casualties of approximately 70,000 men. Napoleon won a technical tactical victory as the Russians ultimately withdrew, leaving the field to the French. A week later, on September 14th, Napoleon marched triumphantly into Moscow, anticipating a prompt Russian surrender. To his consternation, the ancient capital was nearly deserted. No peace delegation arrived. Within hours of French occupation, massive fires began to consume the largely wooden city, deliberately orchestrated by the departing Russian administration. The conflagration, which burned for days, devastated the Grande Armée's only shelter and ruined its last significant supply base before winter. Despite the destruction, Napoleon remained for 5 weeks, writing increasingly urgent letters to Alexander I, who ignored all communications from the Corsican usurper. Facing total logistical isolation and the imminent arrival of winter, Napoleon reluctantly ordered the evacuation of Moscow on October 19, 1812. The retreat was catastrophic. The Grande Armée was forced back along the same devastated route by which it had advanced. In November, the temperature plummeted, and the infamous Russian winter began in earnest, devastating the ill-prepared French soldiers. Thousands died daily from hypothermia, starvation, and constant Cossack cavalry harassment. Discipline dissolved into chaos. By mid-December, only about 100,000 survivors of the original 600,000 crossed back over the Niemen River, a mere 16% of the forces that invaded. The Russian campaign was a defining strategic defeat, breaking the myth of Napoleon's military invincibility and shattering his main combat strength. The unprecedented loss of men, equipment, and prestige irrevocably weakened Napoleonic hegemony in Europe, leading to the rise of the Sixth Coalition and his eventual downfall at Waterloo in 1815.